Alright, we're here to do the chrome. Let's see if this comes out the proper way. I've got my chrome right here. Been shaking it and mixing it. It's fully mixed now. Okay. I'm going to use the same airbrush as before, the Patriot. Don't want to use that stopper. Let's use this stopper. Add some of the chrome in the airbrush now. Probably more than I need. Power to the air compressor. She's spraying. Let's see what happens. Again, like before, I'm doing a slow color buildup. We are not trying to cover this in one go. Not thick anyhow. Now this looks a lot different than the last one. I'm going to put that video of my mess ups on the end of this so you guys can see it. I was told that you don't need a whole lot of this, and apparently you don't, because I'd say that's chromed. And that was almost none of that paint. So let's get the exhaust pipe number 1 here. Again, very little of the paint. Don't put it on thick and heavy. You're going to lose it if you try. Wow. And the one that gives me trouble because it doesn't like to stay in place while I'm spinning it. Tried to fix that yesterday and it just said nope. So I'm going, oh, I'm out of paint. We get a little bit more of this. Don't need a lot though, because again, your goal here is not to completely saturate your piece with this paint. Really thin coat is all she needs. That's it. Oh, I need to hit one more spot, just a little bit. I'll call that one done. Remember, this is a lacquer. It will dry quickly. I don't know if I can trust that to hold still very much longer. I'm about to just ruin it by grabbing it with my fingers. Okay, we're going to let that one sit. Alright, that's all there was to it. I mean, this went on incredibly quick. Very quick. And that's a lot better than what the results I was getting before. I think there's something wrong with the plastic on that, because I even sanded that with 1200 grit sandpaper and it didn't come out clean. Alright, enough of that. I got something else to do. So there you go. The Alcad Chrome takes almost nothing to put on. You can tell I missed a spot on that. Wish that pipe would hold still long enough for me to get it. It just wants to come off there. That's what I get for using silly putty to stick it on with. Anyhow, I got another experiment to do. I'll be back in a minute. Hello everyone, taking a break from the Mercury 7 to work on the Super Zinger. I can get the trailer put together today and the road wheels put together on the main body. I took the tires out. They had that dreadful seam down the center. And, well, it's still, they don't have that seam anymore. But they got a nice worn look to them. What I did is I took a wood shaping tool and just carved them with it. And then sandpaper. So now they have this look to them, which makes them look like they've been well used. So I'm going to put them together and get the body of the cab together. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the chrome that's on this, on these wheel wells. And I got to strip the chrome off the outside edges. So I'm going to take some denatured, some 91% alcohol, some Q-tips, remove the chrome, and get the wheels done. I'll be back in a bit. Been working on the Super Zinger. She's almost done, almost to the decal stage. Really, really close to the decal stage, actually. What we have here is the cab. We're going to do a zoom in on the cab so you guys can see it, and I'm getting them way back. You don't want to focus on that. Wants to focus on the background, like it always does. There we go. You can see the pull handle is silver. Okay. And you could really see the GMC got outlined in silver, and the headlights are silver. And that pull handle is silver. Alright, what I did is I dry brushed. Basically, you take your paintbrush, load it up with a little bit of paint, and you brush it until it's almost dry. That was what this was. Okay. You can see where I got the chrome, the aluminum paint on there. And then once it's dry, you start brushing on your object to be painted. Okay. I also did a little bit of touch-ups with thinner. I took some thinner and wiped on it. See, the underlying base paint, the orange paint, is an enamel, and I'm painting that with Tamiya paint. And this is alcohol. Now, you gotta be careful with alcohol. Too much alcohol and it will eat into the enamel paint. This stuff will eat into any paint if you're not careful. So I had to do it really, really quick. But the alcohol allowed me to wipe it off. Two different types of paints can be used to an advantage. So I can finish putting the cab together now and clear coat it. And I can finish putting together a Super Zinger. The only thing that's going to be left in about 10 minutes is decals. And she will be done. Decals and clear coat. I have to be careful how I clear coat because part of this can't be clear coated. So it'll be interesting since I assembled and then I'm clear coating. Alright, I'll be back in a little while. Okay, we're here to talk about custom decals. I went a little nuts because the contest deadline is Saturday. It is Thursday, well, it's actually Friday morning at about 12:01. And, well, I don't want to have to reprint any of these at the last minute. So I want to talk about how to make custom decals. Okay? First off, you got to know the color of the surface you're putting the decals on. If it is a dark surface, you can't use clear decal sheets. It won't work. The major decal manufacturers put a white layer down, then print their colors on top of them. I don't have a printer that prints white. Most people don't. They don't make those kind of printers. They used to. It was called an Alps printer. You can get them on eBay for a couple $100 if you're lucky. You can get them other places too, but they don't make them anymore. That company went out of business. They're still making print cartridges though. So if you do get lucky and get your hands on an Alps printer, get one. Okay? Now this sheet here is a clear decal sheet because all the surfaces that's going on are either clear or white. Okay? Except for that, that's going to go on a silver surface. So I made some with a yellow background just in case. They're a little bit smaller, simply because yellow background's taking up too much room. Okay? These are going on colored surfaces, so I printed them in clear. The only problem with that right there is I have to cut very closely around that, and that, and that, and that before I can install it. These I don't have to cut closely around, just kind of close. The circles are going on the Mercury 9, by the way. They're the propellers for the C-130. Okay? Now these are printed in my inkjet printer. Decal paper come in two flavors. It comes in inkjet or it comes in laserjet. I've used inkjet decal paper and laserjets before and it does not come out too good. That's because laserjets bond the print to the surface with heat and inkjets just spray it on. So the paper has to be formulated a bit differently. So stick to the type decal paper for your printer. These came in a tester's decal kit. You can get decal papers at places like decalpaper.com. And that's pretty much the same stuff. Then once you print it, you have to seal it. I'm using Tester's Decal Bonder. It's basically their gloss clear paint. Okay? Basically their gloss clear paint. I didn't know when I bought it. I know it now. I have also used Krylon Clear. I've used Rust-Oleum Clear. They all seem to work fairly well. We got a hair in there. But that's okay. That's actually after I spray painted it. I have spray painted this with 2 coats. It's dry already. This is the fun part about this spray booth. It sucks so much air through there that these things dry real quick. It's probably, if the decal film is semi-permeable, it's actually sucking the air through the decal film. And this thing is holding that paper down. It's kind of like it's a magnetic sheet. That's the fun part. This one isn't as dry because it's further back in there. It doesn't have air rushing across it. But these are fairly dry. And I've already put two coats on there. So tomorrow I can apply these to the model. Okay? So let's run through that real quick. Get the decal paper for your printer. Second, you got to have your graphics you want to print. Third, consider the surface you're printing on. You're putting your decals on. If it's a dark surface, you got to use white decal paper, or paint a white spot where the decal goes. Like the Confederate flag there, I've seen people paint white squares, then put the decal on that square. That will work too. Okay? 4, seal your decals. Use some sort of clear paint to seal your decals. Make sure the clear paint's compatible with the decal paper. It's one of the reasons why I'm using the Tester's stuff with the Tester's paper. I'm pretty sure it's going to work just fine. 5, keep in mind you're going to have to cut very closely. Like that Winnie the Pooh, I'm going to get out high magnification glasses and cut that sucker perfectly. That's why I have 10 of them. I only need 2, I have 10. I only need 2 of these, I have 12. I only need 2 of these, I have probably 15. I just want to make sure it's good. I need 4 of these and I've got 16 of them. I need 2 of those and I have 8 of them. Or I need 2 of those and I have 10. And those are little tiny license plates, by the way. Yeah, you can't really read them, but it says Hazard County on there. You get the feeling I'm doing the Dukes of Hazzard thing? Yeah, well, I'm putting this up after you've seen the final photos, so you already know what it was for. Anyhow, there's my rundown on how to make custom decals. You know, it's not really all that hard to do. I'm going to let these sit overnight because, yeah, that one's almost dry now. I think I might put a 3rd coat of paint on them real quick because they're dry. I mean, the spray booth is wonderful about drying stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful about drying things. You just leave it on. There's so much air blowing across it, and these lights are very, very warm up here. They're halogen lights, so they put out a lot of heat. So the spray booth is 5-10 degrees above ambient temperature and lots of air movement. So it's kind of a win-win situation. Alright, there you go. Before I start rambling and waffling about crazy, crazy stuff like silly putty, good or bad for a masking agent. You may have already seen that video or not, because I'm going to go on a rant about that very, very soon. I don't know the time frame of when this one gets played versus that one. Anyhow, I got to clean up the back of the spray booth tomorrow too. It's getting too much cat hair embedded with paint, embedded with other things. So that goes out for a light sanding. I'll be back later. Bye. Alright everyone. I'm setting aside the Mercury 9 for a little bit to finish off one of the many models in my build queue that I haven't finished. We have the Mercury 9, we have the Millennium Falcon, the A-Wings, the Brachiri Cruiser, now the Gundam, and the Super Zinger Semi. Here it is. You can see the cab got distorted. The cab came unglued somehow. I got a little display case for it at a Japanese $2 store in Houston. It just fit it perfectly. What's not finished on it is the decals. And of course I got to reglue the cab back on. Cab coming off is good because it's going to make it easier for decal work. But I'm going to do my decal work now. And a couple of things you want when you're doing decal work. Especially with custom-made decals like I'm using on this, and these are all homemade decals. which means I gotta cut really, really close to the edge of the printing, or it'll show. A knife, sharp knife. I'm changing this blade out and using a brand new blade on it. I have my micro saw and micro set. I have a bowl. My favorite bowl for decal work is this one. It has a lip around it, so I can dunk the decal and set it on the lip and let the decal loosen from the decal paper without it being submerged. I just like that. And the other thing you want is a set of tweezers. Okay, I bought a good set of tweezers a while back. They come in this case. I'm not pimping that brand or anything. It's just the tweezers I have, and I have not been disappointed for buying expensive tweezers. The cheap tweezers don't work as well. I bought a set of Harbor Freight tools and threw them away about 10 minutes later in complete disgust. Alright, so I'm going to get busy on this. I'll let you guys see what it looks like when it's done. I'm going to have to clean up the trailer a little bit before I decal it, because it's just not the way I want it. There's some dust and dirt on it. So let me get after this. When I'm done, I will show you the end result. Then it's going to have to be clear coated after I'm done with that, so don't forget that part. Last night I decided I was going to finish off the Super Zinger. I have enough well, projects that are half completed that was time to finish one of them. We're looking at my compressor because it died. I was spraying and there was a loud pop, and this is what you hear now. It won't build pressure. Okay, I'm going to put an airbrush on this thing just to show you guys, but it's pretty dead. Yeah, it doesn't matter that I'm not uncapping it. But if I turn it on, see, pressure gauge doesn't move. I think the diaphragm popped, which I don't know if that's repairable or not. I suspect it can be repaired, but with BB's appetite on the airbrush, this thing wasn't going to last long anyhow. It just gets hot and hot and hot and hot and hot. So she's going to the great compressor graveyard in the sky, and I get to buy a new compressor. Okay, I'm going to see if it's repairable. If it is, I'll repair it or give it to someone or something, but pretty sure she's dead. Alright, speaking of Super Zinger, it's back here. It's almost done. I have a little bit of work to do on it. I'm going to finish the work and I'll come show you what I've done. Well, here she is, all done with her decals. Yes, you guys know what I did to her. There was a reason why it was that color orange. That is the proper orange for this thing. Okay, lighting's a little off here. I'm about to flip her around to the other side so we can get a good look at it. All the decals were custom. There's a little waver in that at the top, and that's from the decal softening solution, because it wasn't, no, that might be from me cutting it, but I don't think so. I used a ruler to cut it. Yeah, that wouldn't have happened. In fact, you can see the wavers in the red too, so that must have been from the decals setting solution. That's a disappointment. Okay, now I clear coated it last night. You can see it's a pretty glossy coat. That is not Future. Yeah, there you can see the gloss on it. That's not Future. That is Alclad's clear coat, and Alclad's clear coat is not a lacquer. It wasn't the Aqua Gloss Clear, which is water-based acrylic. It was a enamel-based, as far as I could tell. It wasn't lacquer-based because it took too long to cure. It's still a little smelly today, so it's not 100% cured up. Okay? And I christened the Hauling Honey. That's the name of this thing, the Hauling Honey. And that's why we got Winnie the Pooh on there. We're hauling some honey with Winnie the Pooh as the General Lee. So, there you go. A little look around. Yes, I got a license plate on the back of that. You can see the chrome effect is fairly good. You can see my individual fingers on that. That came out good. Considering how much I had to polish that plastic, you can see the reflection of things in the top of this thing. You can't see it that way but you can see my fingers up there. I don't know if it's good enough to read. I had to use some Gorilla super glue on this, okay, because the cab doesn't fit very well and I was getting tired of it. And this is not fast curing super glue. It takes a little bit. I like to use it when I'm playing with photo etch because I have literally about 20 seconds before it sets on photo etch. But again, you can see the reflections of various things in the chrome, so I'm not too disappointed with it. I polished this side with 1200 grit sandpaper, and it's still not real chrome-like, and I got a fingerprint in it up there. Other than that, I'm not too disappointed with this thing. I think it came out pretty good, all in all. I didn't get the front wheels on straight, you can see that. This was supposed to be a quick fun build, and it wasn't. Go figure, it's an older model kit. There were a lot of fit issues with it and various other things. I was learning how to use all clad paints for the chrome for the first time. And I think those exhaust pipes, those custom made exhaust pipes, came out really, really nice. All things considering, they look a heck of a lot better than the standard kit pipes. And they were perfectly squared up at one time. They're not now, and I wonder why. I'm not going to try to fix them. Like I said, this is done. It's going on the shelf for display's sake, and that's what this little case is for. Got her at the Japanese $2 store in Houston. It's actually a model display case. Okay, apparently they have these things in Japan. They don't have them here, which I'm fine with. This is like this case was made for this guy. Well, hope you enjoyed the finale on this one. Again, it's not my best work, but it's not my worst work, and I am happy with it. I am not disappointed. Alright, I will talk to you guys soon. This is one of my projects done. Okay, now I have, well, Mercury 9 to finish sitting up there. Okay, just put up its video with its paint job. Here's a better look at its paint job for those of you that didn't see it earlier. The windows are functional up there. They do light up. So do the little windows down here. I need to clean that up a teeny bit. I have repaired everything on the base. It is now working, including removing and replacing that LED over there. I did replace the surface mount LED. Oh no, it looks like one of my streetlights got mangled. That was probably Catzilla or Thunderpaws if I had to guess, or this thing got pushed over on top of it. I'll see if I can repair that. That's not happiness. I only have one spare headlight. One spare street light. Anyhow, I'm going to get back to work. I will talk to you guys later.
Well, I took it to the local hobby shops contest and got a nice surprise. I didn't think it would win anything after taking it to that contest and seeing the models were there. The judge told me that mine had the cleanest paint job out of all the car models. That's why I got that award. Alright. This is the last of the Super Zinger videos. Hope you enjoyed.